Hello. um, so, I'm not a good YouTuber at all, and I understand this, and I don't plan to do anything really with YouTube, but I will be posting more this summer. But today, I wanted to know if there's any, Paper Mario Color Splash fans out there. Because, Color Splash is a really good, TTY. I hate TTYD. Color Splash is a really good Paper Mario game, and TTYD fans take it like it's Satan. And like I'm just gonna talk about like the games because why not? Okay, so there's this first game that isn't really known at all. Like not many people like talk about it, besides like Strider. Not really anyone like talks about it. Not really anyone really cares about it. Not really anyone like really mentions it. It's not a bad game, and is actually one of the best ones in the series, in my opinion. But people take it like it just doesn't exist for some reason. There's a second game which people praise and call it like a godsend, the best game in the series. When I consider it okay, it's not the worst, it's just not like the best. It's kind of lame and not actually that fun, in my opinion. Plus, even if I did get into it, I could not deal with the fan base. The fan base is so toxic towards the other Paper Mario community. And that's only like part of it. Then you have the third game. And I would say the third game's hated. Hated by a lot of TTYD fans. Just because it's kind of like different and it strays away from the formula. There's the fourth game, which changed the formula in a lot of ways, but also pushed the main series forward in a lot of ways that were important. But and it was actually kind of okay to play. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good, but people took it as like Satan. They really did not like it. Like they didn't just think of it as like the worst thing or like the best thing. They just thought it was like really stupid. I mean, you play it in a lot of senses. Here's the main complaint that I remember off the top of my head. You have one partner that doesn't do anything and has a very bland personality. Fine. Fair point with the no personality part. There is too much convoluted parts of the game that makes the game way too hard and not really enjoyable for people playing it. And I'm going to rebuttal that and say, okay, so first off, is the game easier than a Zelda game? One of the most convoluted games, in my opinion, where the puzzles are stupid, you don't know where to go, and things are in stupid places. Yes, it's way easier. It just is a bit confusing in my part. And I think the level progression also wasn't like the best thing. And I think that was the main things that people really hated. If I can remember. Then there's a fifth game. The fifth game was, in my opinion, my favorite, which was Color Splash. Color Splash, basically, not just that you play through this whole new world that's like really fun and interesting, has great comedy and has like great art styles. I'm so tired. And all these other really cool parts of it. People's complaints are there's no unique people, they're just toads. Oh, sorry. Why should I care? Sure, they're just toads, but like, they're still hilarious for toads. In my opinion, it doesn't. If a game's good enough to pull off not having differentiating characters, you have to have like great humor or comedy or personality in them. And I love the toads. They are full of personality. It's kind of like a potato in a sense, a baked potato where you have like a normal potato, but then they add like all these really cool stuff in it. And that's one of the things I really like about the toads. They're really interesting, even though they're kind of bland. And another complaint I usually hear is that, like, there's no partners still. Okay. The reason why this pisses me off is because the third game didn't really, like, revolve around partners at all. And it was just there because it had some partners. Like, the partners were there, but they weren't really matterful. It was mostly about Mario, Peach, Bowser, and Luigi. But then, and like, there's one partner that matters, and you'll never even, like, if you hear about the game, that's not going to be the first thing that comes to mind. It's going to be its unique mechanics and a unique style of it being more 2D. And then, with the fifth, like, it was more like the partners were more just shapes. It was like, you can use the square shape and it'll blow things up. Which makes me go, there's nothing interesting about that shape. It's just a shape, and yet people are taking it as, like, just a normal series quota. If they're asking for, like, Mario to do more, then that makes sense. It's like, if they're asking more of a moveset for Mario, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But my thing is, Mario doesn't need all that other stuff. Mario plays fine without it. It's just an extra set of tools that are there. It's like, you only need a screwdriver, but you can also use a hammer and 50,000 other tools you'll never use. But they're there if you want it. I don't understand the point of it. It's like, you need the one that will tell you, like the Goombario, like the Huey, and the Princess one. You need that one. You need one that will tell you what you can do. You need the one that will show you the way. And that's the one that you really need in each one. You need the hint guide. You need the one that will always be there to help you. And the thing is, of course, they just did that. It's the only one they actually need. Mario plays fine without it. And I also hear a lot of complaints about the battle mechanics, which I also want to put a rebuttal on this one. The battle mechanics are actually pretty fine. I think most of the problems come with having to use the Wii U. The thing is, like, it puts a little bit of stress on you while also, like, keeping the game flowing. Like, one thing that I have to say is, like, stress that it puts on you would be more of a, okay, so, you, in certain battles, if you aren't careful, you could run out of pain, making it so you can't use your cards. But, once you get a little bit in, you get a mechanic that allows you to randomly pick cards for coins. So, as long as you have coins, you'll never run out of cards. And people still complain about how I run out of cards all the time. You'll never run out of cards. This is simple. I played the game when I was maybe like 11 or 12, and my Wii U's I haven't played it in a bit, and that's mostly because of my charger being messed up. I have to say that I don't really understand what your problem is. Mario plays how he's supposed to play. Yes, you can fill in cards, but as long as you just fill it into full and then that's it, not really an issue. It mostly comes, most of the challenge comes with picking out what cards you can use and then using your skills to use those cards to your best efficiency. For example, things like the ice power up, where you would use the ice ball, you still have to time it, and timing it can be pretty hard. And if you fail one or none, you don't get to use an attack. And then there's also certain things that will affect you both out of battle, and it's why do you have to complain? And then I also hear some complaints on the things also being hard to find, and then I go, You have the trash can. Yes, there's a toad in a trash can that gives you hints on where the main objectives are, including where all the things are. So as long as you have a thing, you should be pretty prepared. And most of the time, you'll see the thing if you just explore and have fun. Meaning of that, most of the people hate the battle mechanics because that's the main thing of TTYD. And even part of the third game, part of the second game, part of the first game. And the reason why is because the battle mechanics were the main part of the game. It was like an adventure with instead of a adventure with a battle mechanic, it was a battle mechanic with an adventure, and people loved that. The difference is with Color Splash, it's an adventure with a battle mechanic, and I don't really understand what's the big problem with that. And then we also have a couple more things that I want to clear up. I don't hate TTYD. I think it's a great game. I don't just say it's a community. I hate how picky people are with their things. And I also think that people should be more accepting of the later Mario games. I do think that there are some cool parts. I like the partners. They have good personality. It's just people care in a weird sense. It's like caring about skins, and I don't get that. It's yes, there's this one cool skin, but that's it. You play the same without it. And I don't know. Maybe it's just that they like more side characters, which Color Splash does. It's just with Toads, and they appear all the time. I would put Color Splash, in my opinion, maybe for most fans of the series, I would say that it's respectively on level TTYD, but in my opinion, it's the best game in the series. The reason why I'd put it on the same level as TTYD, as also known as one of the better games in the series, is just that it really does something that's great with the series, while TTYD does good things for the series, but it also makes these fans who don't really enjoy the stuff that comes after. And it's there's nothing really wrong with the next couple of games. I also hear people complain how Paper Jam is part of the Paper Mario series, and then I go, whoa, that isn't the Paper Mario. That is literally just the Mario RPG, there. It's just a Mario RPG spin-off in a weird sense. It's a spin-off to a spin-off. It's not bad. It's still fun. It's still good. It's just there. And yeah, I'm gonna be upfront. I don't like the community. I don't like the fans, and I think they're a bit too pushy. But I don't want to waste your time. I've been going on and rambling for about 15 minutes so far. I could be rambling for an hour, knowing me. I love rambling. And I guess this is where I'll call it quits. Thank you for watching, if you are watching. I usually don't get anyone watching. But if you are, thank you. See you all later. Goodbye.